Barron Trump sat quietly in his room, surrounded by stacks of books, a half-built drone on his desk, and his laptop glowing with lines of code. Despite his reserved public persona, those who knew him understood that he had a sharp intellect far beyond his years. That night, his father, former President Donald Trump, walked into the room holding a news article. "Barron, have you seen this?" he asked, pointing to a story about rising ocean pollution. The accompanying photos of trash-choked beaches and suffering marine life were haunting. "I've been thinking about it," Barron replied, his voice calm. "I may have an idea." He outlined a concept for a large-scale ocean cleanup initiative using a fleet of AI-powered drones. Each drone would navigate autonomously through the water, identifying and collecting plastic debris. Donald, initially skeptical, raised an eyebrow. "You think this could work?" "I don't think, Dad. I know it can work," Barron said confidently. Barron's idea was no mere daydream. Over the next few weeks, he worked tirelessly to create a detailed plan. He used his coding skills to develop a simulation of how the drones would work. He even emailed leading environmental scientists and robotics experts, though he kept his identity secret. Word eventually reached Elon Musk, who, intrigued by the anonymous communication, requested a meeting. When Barron revealed himself, Musk's surprise turned to admiration. "This is brilliant," Musk said as he reviewed the young Trump simulation. "We could take this global." Barron proposed an ambitious partnership. Musk would provide the advanced robotics, while Barron's designs would guide the AI. Together, they could revolutionize ocean cleanup efforts. With Musk's resources at his disposal, Barron developed the first prototype within months. The drone, dubbed AquaMind, was a marvel of engineering, compact, energy efficient, and capable of operating independently in the harshest marine environments. Donald Trump, while supportive, couldn't help but marvel at his son's tenacity. "You really did it, Barron," he said during a private demonstration at Mar-a-Lago. The first test was off the coast of California. A crowd of environmental leaders and media watched intently as the AquaMind drone glided into the water. Within minutes, it began collecting microplastics and other debris with precision. Cheers erupted from the crowd when the drone returned with its first haul, but Barron remained calm. "This is just the beginning," he said. As news of AquaMind spread, it also attracted criticism. Environmentalists questioned whether the project could be scaled effectively. Others accused it of being a PR stunt, leveraging the Trump and Musk names for attention. Undeterred, Barron dove deeper into refining the technology. He implemented machine learning algorithms to improve the efficiency of the drones and to ensure that they didn't harm marine life. Musk, too, stood firmly in Barron's corner. "Critics always talk," he told the media, "but this kid is solving problems they've only written reports about." Despite the progress, logistical problems arose. Manufacturing costs skyrocketed, and some international governments balked at the idea of foreign drones operating in their waters. Barron and Musk had to navigate a maze of negotiations and compromises. Eventually, the project gained momentum as world leaders began to endorse AquaMind. At a special summit hosted by the United Nations, Barron, just 17 years old, delivered a powerful speech. "This isn't about politics," he said. "This is about the future of our planet." His sincerity struck a chord. Nations pledged funding and companies offered partnerships. Soon, the AquaMind fleet was expanding around the world, cleaning the oceans in ways never thought possible. Barron's efforts culminated in the unveiling of the AquaMind Mega Fleet, consisting of thousands of drones working in unison. The launch took place in New York Harbor, with both Donald Trump and Elon Musk in attendance. Months of relentless planning and engineering finally came to fruition as Barron stood at the edge of the stage, looking out over the glittering waters of New York Harbor. His hands, though steady, trembled slightly with excitement. The AquaMind Mega Fleet was about to take flight, and with it, Barron knew, the future of environmental cleanup would change forever. The fleet consisted of thousands of specially designed drones that would sweep the oceans, collecting plastic waste and toxic debris. Each drone was an engineering marvel, built to withstand the harshest ocean conditions, yet gentle enough to avoid disturbing marine life. The drones could fly for hours on solar power, and their movements were coordinated by an advanced AI system developed by Barron and his team. The launch would be a milestone in environmental technology. As the countdown began, Barron could feel the weight of history in the air. The eyes of the world were on him, and the future of environmental sustainability rested on this moment. Standing beside him was his father, Donald Trump, whose smile of pride was as unmistakable as it was rare. His presence at the event was a testament to how far Barron had come, not just as the son of a famous businessman, but as a young innovator who had proven his ability to think beyond the typical confines of his age. And then there was Elon Musk, a man whose own ventures into space and sustainable technology had already changed the course of human progress. Musk had been a strong supporter of Barron's project from the beginning, and now as he watched the drones hover in the air like a swarm of mechanical bees, he was visibly impressed. At a signal from Barron, the first wave of drones lifted off in perfect unison. They rose above the harbor, their synchronized movements creating a mesmerizing display. As the drones scattered across the skyline, Barron's heart swelled with pride. The fleet was operational, on a scale no one had ever imagined. The media, buzzing with excitement, immediately began calling the event a technological symphony for the environment. Stories poured in from around the world, praising the innovative solution Barron had brought to life. People marveled at how a young mind could take such a complex problem, ocean plastic pollution, and solve it on a scale previously unimaginable. Barron turned to Elon Musk, his mentor and friend, who smiled with quiet approval. "You've changed the world," Musk said, his voice full of respect. Barron nodded but stayed grounded. "This is just the beginning," he replied. "This is a global movement. We've only scratched the surface." The crowd erupted in applause as the last of the drones took flight, their mission clear: to clean up the oceans, one drone at a time. Barron felt the weight of his accomplishment, but he knew the real work was just beginning. The AquaMind Mega Fleet was just the first phase of an ongoing, ever-evolving mission to ensure that the oceans and the planet remain clean for generations to come. This launch was a watershed moment, not just for Barron, but for the world. It was proof that technology, when applied with purpose, can create solutions to some of humanity's most pressing problems. Years later, as Barron reflected on the project, now hailed as one of the greatest environmental achievements in history, he remained humble. As the years passed, Barron's creation became synonymous with environmental progress. The AquaMind Mega Fleet had expanded to all of the world's oceans, with millions of drones now in operation, picking up more plastic waste than ever before. The oceans were cleaner, marine life was thriving, and countries that once seemed indifferent to ocean conservation were now united in the effort. Barron had come to understand that real change comes not from technology alone, but from the collective will of humanity to make a difference. And his journey had been about much more than solving one problem. It had been about inspiring millions to think bigger, act bolder, and aim higher. On a peaceful evening, Barron found himself once again on a beach at sunset, the golden hues reflecting off the calm water. He watched quietly as a fleet of AquaMind drones worked in the distance, their solar-powered wings gliding effortlessly over the water. For a brief moment, he closed his eyes and let the sound of the waves wash over him. The world had changed in ways he'd never imagined, but his work wasn't done. During a rare interview, years after the project's inception, Barron sat down with a reporter, his demeanor calm but focused. "When I started this, I didn't know it would grow into what it is now," he said, reflecting on his journey. "But it was never about me. It was about everyone who believed we could do better." The reporter nodded, impressed by the humility of a man who had accomplished so much at such a young age. Barron continued, "The real impact of this project isn't just in the drones or the technology. It's in the way it's inspired people to believe in the power of innovation, to believe that one person, no matter how young, can make a difference." As the sun dipped below the horizon, Barron looked out over the ocean. The world he had helped create was not perfect, but it was undeniably better. The AquaMind Mega Fleet had revolutionized environmental technology, and Barron's legacy was cemented as one of the greatest contributions to the planet in modern history. The next generation of innovators, inspired by Barron's vision, was already at work, tackling challenges that once seemed insurmountable. And Barron, now content in his role as a visionary leader, could see that the future he had dreamed of was not only possible, it was already unfolding. As the last rays of sunlight faded, Barron stood up, his heart filled with gratitude for all who had joined him on this journey. The world was indeed a better place for it, and in the quiet peace of the moment, Barron knew that his work would live on, inspiring those who came after him to continue pushing the boundaries of what was possible.